Bottle.It podcast number 3, The Road to Kona, coming to you live from Palani Drive. We're about to turn left onto the Queen K. So this is time management at its best, recording a podcast during one of the trips from Kona. So over my right shoulder, down Palani Hill, is the Kona Pier, where it all happens, the start, the finish, and everything in between. And we're just turning left right now, as you'll see out my back window, onto the Queen K. This is where it all happens. Over my shoulder, you should, I don't know, there's an abundance of cyclists out on the road getting their last minute training in. So there's a few turning over. I don't know if you'll spot them in the background. But basically, I just wanted to jump on and do episode 3 and catch you up on what's been happening since we've been here. We had anyone who's been following Instagram has seen, we had the IronKids race, which was exciting. We signed Duke up to that the night before. That wasn't on our itinerary or on the plans. That was just something that we knew were going to be in town, and to be able to expose Duke to the world of Ironman and to know that he's had a chance to run that pavement before I get my chance on Saturday, it was surreal to watch, and it was great to hear his feedback. He absolutely loved it, and if he had his time again, he'd do a few different things. Now, just looking over my right shoulder, there's Sam Musgrove. I don't know if you'll see him in the back mirror, but the big horse is out stomping, which is great to see, getting his one of his last long rides in, and he looks lean, looks fast, he looks good. So big ups to Sammy. So we went in, we've had Dukey's race, the IronKids race. He absolutely loved it. After the IronKids race, we rolled straight into the Parade of Nations, which is something that was mind-blowing. The energy out there was surreal, and to be with the other Australian athletes and hear some stories of what race they qualified or how they've used a legacy spot. It was cool to hear some stories and just basically soak that energy, and the supporters supporting everybody doing the Parade of Nations were amazing. And it was, like I said, I've used the word amazing, I think, far too much. I need to develop a new word or find a new word other than amazing, because between the excitement and the nerves, the vocabulary's suffering a little bit. But we got really overwhelmed with the energy in Kona. There's a lot of athletes staying in there. It's a lot of people doing their check-ins, grabbing their last minute items from the village. We're staying 40 minutes out of town at Kahali? So that's how nervous I am doing this podcast. I can't even remember where we're staying, but we're 40 minutes out of town, which gives us a little buffer between the energy in Kona and just being away from it, and able to switch the mind off to the fact that, you know, we're a couple of days away from the big race. So there's a few pros staying out there, which has been really cool to see. Sam Laidlow training, on the roads around the village, and saw him last night finish hopefully finishing one of his last hard sets. He had the old cold wet towel over the shoulders, and he was looking fairly exhausted. So hopefully he's just got off the bike and he's ready to go. So we had yesterday away from Ironman. We obviously had the big Tuesday in there. Wednesday just went to the beach, got out for a light run. The hip's feeling fine when it's moving. So as long as I'm running or riding, which is good considering there's an Ironman coming up, it's moving well. The problem I did have after the run yesterday was it's swollen back up like a beach ball. Even though I had ice on it straight away and had a easy night, and the Voltaren's been being massaged into it fairly rigorously, it still puffs up, but I'm not too concerned. It's a constant reminder that I'm not 100%, but I don't think there's an athlete in Kona that's at 100% after a big training block. So I'm just trying to put it out of mind and just know that come race day it's going to be fine. Like I said, it's going to take a lot more than a sore hip to stop me getting to that red carpet. This morning I was up super early. Not super early, I was up early to drive into Kona on my Pat Malone. I had to grab some content with Glenn from Corrupt Vision for Ironman Oceania. That was my first Kona swim, and it was like swimming in Sydney Aquarium. It was surreal. The water's beautiful. There was fish, eels, you name it. It was it was paradise. A fish tank's the only way to explain it when it comes to the marine life that was in the water. Heap of people out swimming, but I would have felt good to stretch the hip out, the lower back out with a swim. So it's definitely, I'm going to revisit that this afternoon and try to get another longer swim in, because that was only probably, maybe 800 meters max. So I did a swim, got some content with Glenn, which will go up on the Ironman Oceania reels, which is cool. I've known Glenn the whole time that I've been doing the last 2.5 years. Corrupt Vision does amazing work behind the lens, and most of the Ironman Oceania stuff that you see through their channels comes through Glenn's eyes. So he's unreal. I'm excited to see that footage. It was in the water, a bit of drone footage, having a swim. So the Bottle.It budgies were on. We wrapped that up, quick coffee, and then jumped straight on to live radio with the ESPN, one of the shows being streamed live straight into LA in America, which is very exciting. And Americans have this weird ability to be super curious and inquisitive and ask questions that I think a lot of other people will shy away from. And that was a real eye-opener to have basically, not a stranger, but like the guy hosting the radio show, a stranger, ask about my journey with PTSD and my journey to the start line as someone who didn't know the story that well. And he asked a question that probably a lot of people are wondering, and especially with the story that was shared 2 years ago with Ironman Australia, is that how do I have PTSD if it was my son and my wife that basically nearly passed away? And it's a confronting question, but a real question. It's something that I think a lot of people probably got the same idea hearing that it was Ali and Duke and I was basically a spectator. But it was one that I took pride in answering and being able to talk about it, especially with mental health receiving the kind of bit of that taboo area that it has got, and explaining that trauma, as much as it was Ali and Duke's trauma to live through, witnessing trauma, and especially being exposed to trauma earlier in life and then having this as another traumatic event, it triggered a chemical imbalance. Like, it's not up to anybody else, or it's not so much the scenarios that when we speak to Ali about her experience when Duke was born, it's very different to my experience. She was under general anesthetic for 60% of it, and her experience in that hotel room was completely different to mine. So it doesn't make sense what's happened and the outcomes of it all, but I think that's mental health in a nutshell. What impacts one person's not going to impact another, and the way we manage it and treat it is the exact same. What works for me mightn't work for you. But it was cool to be asked that early in the interview, and be able to answer that confidently and speak about my journey, because I know it resonates with a lot of the listeners and a lot of the Bottle.It audience or athletes that are pursuing their own journey towards positive mental health. So it was good to get that one out of the way. And then we probably had another 10 minutes of conversation comparing Ironman to rugby and what my plans are for the day, and basically what I'm excited for. And the host had done it 10 years ago, and he had his son on the sideline, so he shared his story with having his son tell him that he was doing it, and I couldn't help but think about Dukey being on the sideline watching me do this race. It was it was a really cool moment, and like I said, it was exciting to be able to take the Bottle.It story and share some Bottle.It information just with hopefully the American audience through the ESPN radio show. So that was cool. Wrapped that up, jumped straight in and did athlete check-in. Athlete check-in was unreal. It was super quick. I have part of the ambassador ticket is that I'm a priority entry, so I skipped the queue. And probably one of the disadvantages, and I know I sound like I'm complaining when I've got the utmost privilege, was it was over super quick. I punched straight in, punched straight out, and it was it was over before I knew it. The whole walkthrough, get your stuff, get your arm tag put on, that's your race day tag, and receive your athlete bag, which is in the back. I might throw a video up of unpacking to see what the World Championship bag has in it. I'll put that at the end of this podcast for anyone watching on YouTube or listening. I don't know how much fun it'd be to listen to, me opening a bag, but I'll throw that up after this podcast goes up. But that was incredible to be surrounded by the athletes, and we all know how the volunteers at the Ironman events, how infectious their energy is. It was next level with the American staff there. They were just absolutely buzzing and as excited to see us as we were to see them. It was cool. And then, like visiting IKEA, they spit you out the athlete check-in straight into the merchandise. And dear God, you name it, Ironman have it covered. There's every piece of supporters gear, hats, mugs, toasters, whatever you want with the Ironman logo on it, you've got it there. So we're going to go back and visit that this afternoon with Ali and Duke, and pick up some merchandise for what's going to be a very special day. So I'm on the way back home now, Waikoloa Village. Going to grab some lunch, hang out and grab Ali and Duke. We've got friends Katie and James over from Seattle that are staying out here too. They're going to come back in. We have the Ambassador panel this afternoon at 3 o'clock back in town. And then, yeah, we'll do that, grab dinner, head home, and then tomorrow I'll double back, head in and rack my bike. So there's a lot going on at the moment, and I was incredibly nervous and excited for Ironman Australia and to do that in 2022. This is next level. The nerves I have at the moment and the excitement and the anxiety and next level. I am in an incredibly privileged situation, and the comments and the messages between Instagram and on the YouTube videos have been amazing, and I really hope you're enjoying this journey with me. And yeah, Saturday's going to be a hell of a fight, and I'm up for it. We're ready to go. We've done the work. I'm literally on the edge of tears every time I start talking about it and getting excited. I don't know what that's about, but it's going to mean once I hit that red carpet, I reckon all those tears and all this emotion is going to come out. So it's been an absolute wild ride, and something that I'm very proud of at a moment of darkness, that I picked Ironman to give me some purpose and give me some direction, because it's led me to this opportunity. And I might grab the phone now just as we're finishing and pan around, because yeah, we're out in the Queen K. It's 85 Fahrenheit, which I think translates to about, I don't know, I'm going to have a stab in the dark and say 27, 28 degrees. There's a bit of wind floating around, but it is everything you see on the social media, whether it's Corrupt Vision or the other 12 hours, or even the Ironman pages or the pros pages of the Queen K. It's very much as depicted in those. So I'll do a quick 360 pan around, we'll wrap it up, and then I reckon that may be it for episode 3. I'll unbag my World Champs bag, and then I might jump back on tomorrow and do one after I check the bag in to get to episode 4. So we'll just unclip it here. We've got Queen K, there's an athlete going past now. We go back over this shoulder. There's a goat, there's a heap of goats. I've got some more athletes here. Looks like maybe a flat. So yeah, Queen K. Lava. It's really cool to see that cyclist on the other side of the road was slowing down to make sure the cyclists on the other side of the road were okay. It's one of those great things in the cycling world, just to make sure that everyone's got spares and things like that. So this is basically what you see for a good 150 kilometers, just rolling ups and downs, lava, and then all these different valleys and rises and falls. The wind channels through it, either from the ocean or from the top of the mountain. So you'll be coasting along, there'll be no wind. Next minute there'll be lots of wind. Going up hills feels like sometimes you're going down hills. Going down hills feels like sometimes you're going up hills. It's a beast of a thing, and it very much, the weather doesn't care that you're here. It's a really cool experience to be out here riding. So thanks so much as always for listening. Thank you for the comments. It's yeah, it's almost D time. Let's go. Phew. Righto, as promised, we're going to unbag the Kona World Championships Ironman bag. As you'll see, massive bag, solid, waterproof. Let everyone know where you were. It's compulsory that you use this bag for all swim sets, run sets, ride sets moving forward. I haven't opened it, so I've got a cool little name tag on the side. Nice little souvenir. Back pocket. Let's have a look to see what's inside. Front pocket, big pocket, mesh bag for all your dried goods, wet goods, your phone, whatever else. We'll open the big one. I think the big one's where all the good stuff is. Oh, look at that. It's unreal. Opens up the full width of the bag. Look at that. Opens up. Apologies for the camera work here. Doing the best I can with a slide, but basically opens up like a laptop bag. Inside we've got, yeah, heaps of pockets. Athlete bib information. In there you've got your street gear bag, run bag, ride bag, special needs bag, 2 race bibs, Your beauty, 403. That's a lucky number, that's a fast number, that. Your stickers for your helmet and your bike. A few bits and pieces. No tattoos. You get the tattoos the morning of when you arrive. A couple of AG1 trail packs. Unreal. Straight down the gob. We got a couple of Ironman promotional stuff. Discount code for AG1. Some products. Scan here to win something Blumenfield and Gustav use. Triathlon store, retail, franchise, how to buy it pack. You got a poster too. What the poster is. Oh, there you go. Kona World Champs poster. That one that'll be going up in the studio back home. And probably what I'm most excited for. Tri-dot sticker. Just lost the rubber band. It's okay. I think that's it for the bag. Bag's an absolute beauty. Stoked for this. This will be copping a workout for the next, 30, 40 years. The feed. We're only just starting to learn about the feed in Oz. Pretty big in the States. A few big brands are moving over to it. What have we got inside? Water bottle. You beauty. Never have enough water bottles. Mortal Hydration sample pack. Spring Summer Edition magazine. There you go. Thank you, the feed. That's it. That's the Ironman World Championships event bag. Unpacked. How good. How exciting. Tattoos on race day. Everything else is there. I'll start stickering up the bike and the helmet, getting ready for check-in tomorrow. But yeah, that's everything inside. See you again in episode 4.